It's just, it's really, it was invented in the United States in 1950s, but it's really just a play-off of a calzone. And you look at pizza, you look at calzones, even spaghetti and meatballs, they all kind of have the same sort of ingredients. There's like a carb, and there's a protein, and then there's, usually some cheese and some sauce. So if you look at a calzone, it's probably typically more pizza dough. And with Stromboli, it's bread dough. So I used bread dough as the basis for this. And then you stuff it, right? So you use bread dough and you stuff it with kind of whatever you want. But this particular recipe is something that I thought is simple for the most part. Simple from the amount of ingredients, and sometimes less is more. So it's really just sausage and cheese, Italian spices, and the one I just put in the oven doesn't have sauce in it, but I'm going to make this next one with sauce in it. And that's kind of the difference almost between a calzone too and a Stromboli. Stromboli typically has sauce inside of it. And the last time I made Stromboli was like 20 years ago, and I just remember it being very good. I was like, wow, I really like that. And then I never made it again. And I was like, how come I never made it again? And of course, thinking about things that you guys all might like. Baking bread, that smell, that's a great smell. So I thought, well, we'll bake some bread and stuff some stuff in it. Can't really go wrong with that. So let's talk about how we make it. So I'm going to roll out this dough a bit, and I'm going to show you what kind of dough it is. I didn't make the dough, and I had the dough, as you all know who have cooked with dough, it's a little bit tricky, right? How long do you keep it frozen? This is frozen dough when I bought it. How long do you freeze it versus how do you thaw it out? Do you thaw it out on the counter? Do you thaw it out in the refrigerator? How long do you let it rise before you try to work with it, right? Because this one I had to work with, I had to start pushing it out, moving it around, because I'm going to stuff it. So if you let it rise too long, it's going to fight you. These fought me for quite a while before I was able to get them out, because I let them rise a little bit too long, because I wasn't here early enough this morning to let them sit out. So I put them in the fridge yesterday already. So anyway, it's Rhodes dough. I don't actually know how much this costs, but there's 3 loaves of bread in here, and I think it's 3 pounds. 3 loaves, 3 pounds. So each one is a pound, and there's 3 loaves in there. It's just, you can use wheat bread if you want. I use white bread because I thought you guys would probably like that a little bit better. So this is part of what I didn't make the bread, because that would be way too hard to do that. So then I laid them out on parchment paper like this. I laid it out in a loaf, right? And of course, when you lay it out in a loaf, you want to lay it out this way so that you can start, pushing it back and forth. Because when I stuff it, I'm going to stuff this whole thing and I'm going to roll it from this way over, rather than that way. So I want it a little bit longer. The reason I wanted a little bit longer, and it didn't really work this morning, maybe the pans are too big. Well, actually I got 2 in there, so that looks like a circle. I think the circle is cool. You could just make it in a loaf, or you could try to do it in a circle. So I'm going to try to do this one a little bit longer and make it as much of a circle as I can here. So, because I think that looks a little better. And then you could you're serving it at a party, you could put the marinara sauce in the inside and then dip it into the marinara sauce. Or take marinara sauce out of the inside and put it on your plate and dip it that way. So, I'm going to roll this out. I'm going to wash my hands. I washed them about 8 times already today, but
that's good.
I will do it again.
That's a whole bit. You never have enough food answer. So I know all the tricks. Yeah. It's a long time ago.
Since this kitchen is not that well equipped, I had to bring a bunch of stuff from home. So I brought my rolling pin.
Yeah.
I brought a knife. I brought a spatula. And I brought a scissors. Scissors is a very important part of this whole process, and I'll show you how that is. So, and actually there were a couple pots that I thought I brought, but they seem to have disappeared, so I actually had to sort of scramble with that too. But anyway, this is parchment paper. Parchment paper is a cook's best friend, right? And I sprayed it with oil before I put the loaf down, and the oil I used is just a basic canola oil, Roundy's brand, so it's not fancy or expensive. When you roll this out, trying to get it into a rectangle, sometimes that's not that easy.
You don't have to put extra flour on. sometimes you have to do that.
So I'm spinning it around here, that's what I was doing before. So I'm pushing this out. I'd like to get it as long as I can. And now it's, I guess, after rolling it and letting it sit, it seems to be doing just what I want it to do. So that's great. So it's getting nice and long.
Well, here's very thin, that's okay, right? You want it thin?
Yeah, because I'm rolling it up. So that's really ready to go. And I'm going to
Very thin.
swing it back over that way. So here's the stuffing that I prepared. Actually, I probably used most of it in the first two, but basically each pound of bread requires a pound of meat, and this is Italian sausage I bought in bulk at Pick and Save when I was shopping for the store the other day. Decided to buy our ingredients for the shopping or cooking with Tom, and then cheddar cheese. You'd say, "Wow, why cheddar cheese?" But you know, again, it was invented in America, and cheddar cheese is big here, right? Although there is some Parmesan that I'm going to put on top, and then there's Italian spices, and that's it. So the Italian spices are basically just Italian seasoning, you know, nothing fancy, and then cheddar cheese, just put that in, and I put.
And you brown it first, right?
Yes, I brown it. I drain all the grease off, and put the cheese in. And actually, for each pound of meat, there's an egg. So I whisk up the egg, right? So that egg is in there too. So really, there's 4 ingredients: cheese, sausage, egg, and spices. There's no salt or pepper in here other than what came in the sausage itself. So when I put the hot sausage in with the cheese melted just a little bit, but that's okay. So you just kind of put this out here. This. So I'm going to just sort of put that around in there. And if I was thinking, I probably would have put the sauce down first, actually. But that's okay.
Can't wait to taste this.
So we just kind of push it around. You got big chunks, you might want to break them off a little bit, but okay. Put some sauce on here.
Is that spaghetti sauce?
Yeah, it's just Paul Newman's marinara.
And that's the way you made the other one.
No, actually the other one I did not put any spaghetti sauce in it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to, since I like cheese, and I bet you guys do too, it calls for just cheese on top, but I'm going to do cheese, a little bit of cheese inside too. It's Parmesan cheese. So you could put onions or broccoli or anything in there if you wanted to.
Broccoli?
Mushrooms. Okay, so it's kind of ready to go here. There you go. So then you just roll it up and hope it doesn't break. Look at that big loaf.
She's still there, she's still big buddy.
So I'm going to keep that seam on the bottom, and then I'm going to fold the ends over. I'm going to transfer it over to this pan. And before I do that, I'm going to spray it so it doesn't stick. I'm want to spray it over the sink, so if there's any overspray, ooh, my hands are already greasy. Oops. There we go. Yeah, slippery, slippery, slippery. Okay, this is going to be nothing too tricky, but we'll have to see. Thank you, Rita. Whoa. Oh my goodness, it's a...
And it breaks open and all this stuff.
Woo! There we go.
No. Be nice.
A little bit tricky. Okay, I'm folding over
Did it.
the ends there, and this is nice and sealed. But it's kind of funny, it put the seams down, but you'll see that basically in order to serve it a little bit more conveniently, they're going to have me cut it before I put it in the oven. So I'm going to, Rita, want to pull that out? Watch out for the grease though, you don't want to get grease on you. There we go, take that. Alright, so I'm going to wash off the canola oil here. As you'll be able to come in here later on and skate on the floor, huh? You don't want to do that. Okay, so we could, let me see here. We wanted to make sure that that thing, that beautiful creation doesn't sort of, we'll just put this right here. So then it'll sort of bake around that rather than sort of bake together. So we'll keep our dimensions there. So, and those are just plastic things that are not plastic, aluminum things that I bought at Pick and Save. Okay, so now we're gonna make sure that.
And then you're gonna need some napkins, I think.
We
Oh, you got this, okay. All right, here you go. Here you are.
just keep passing.
Where'd you get that sausage from?